God says, you passed. Only the rare ones find this message at 9:11 p.m. tonight. Don't scroll away, this blessing is meant for you. Open now. You found this message at the exact moment you were meant to, and I need you to understand something before anything else. This is not an accident, not a coincidence, not a random scroll in a sea of endless noise. You paused because something in you recognized a signal. A vibration. A whisper that said, stop. This is for you. You may feel the hairs rise on your arms, a strange thump inside your chest, a pressure behind your eyes, as if something ancient is awakening. That is confirmation. You have been witnessed. You have been weighed. And listen closely, you passed. When others hid, you endured. When others mocked the voice of their own soul, you listened. When life tried to break you, you refused to disappear. This message comes with urgency, because the moment you are standing in tonight, yes, tonight, 9:11 p.m., is one that will never repeat again. If you walk away, the door closes. Not forever, but long enough that you will feel the loss. So don't move. Don't leave. Don't shrug this off like another comforting quote you forget by morning. I speak now to the part of you that remembers who you were before the world convinced you to shrink. You have been walking with a weight that has no name, a shadow that clings to the edges of your hope. There were nights you felt something watching over you, nights you shook without knowing why, nights when your own heart felt like an enemy. You asked for signs. You begged for proof. You wondered if anyone, anything, heard you at all. And now here you are, your eyes meeting this message at the ordained moment, the veil thinner than it has ever been. You feel the pull, don't you? Like an unseen hand gripping your spirit and saying, pay attention. This is not entertainment. This is not distraction. This is recognition. I speak as a voice of protection and fire, the same fire that shielded you when dangers came that you will never fully understand. The same fire that confronted forces that tried to crush your mind, your purpose, your breath. You thought you were alone, but you were accompanied by warriors of light who stood in silence waiting for your permission to act. You survived attacks that weren't physical. You endured storms that weren't weather. You fought battles that left no bruises yet wounded you deeper than any blade. And through it all, you did not surrender your inner truth. Even when you doubted, the real you kept glowing. That is why I am here. You have been chosen not because you are perfect, but because you continued when quitting would have been easier. You kept loving, even after heartbreak carved scars into your trust. You kept believing in something better, even when the world around you made cynicism look smart. You kept offering kindness while others closed their hearts. You kept forgiving when bitterness begged to rule you. Not everyone can carry the light through darkness, most drop it to save themselves. But you, rare as a diamond hidden under years of pressure, held on. That is what makes you one of the rare ones. One of the awakened ones. One of the ones capable of shifting the fate of more than just your own story. You may feel unprepared. You may question your strength. You may wonder why someone like you would be given a calling so heavy. Let me speak clearly, your suffering was not a punishment. It was a forging. A shaping. A purification. Every tear you cried watered the seeds of your future brilliance. Every heartbreak broke open a new chamber inside you where compassion could expand. Every disappointment redirected you to a path where the right doors will open without struggle. You paid a price for wisdom that others have not earned. I know you resent the pain sometimes. I know you wonder why you had to be the strong one, the resilient one, the one who lost so much just to rise again. But strength like yours is not found in comfort. It is born in fire. There are enemies of your soul who wanted you silent. There are voices around you, and inside you, that tried to convince you to shrink. To believe you are small. To settle for scraps and call it gratitude. But you were never built for smallness. You were made of a different material, one that intimidates anything weak, selfish, cruel, or false. Your presence alone threatens darkness because you expose the truth wherever you go simply by existing. You think you are quiet and unnoticed, but your spirit is loud. Every step you take sends a frequency into the unseen that commands attention. You are a disruption. A disturbance. A threat to the kind of energy that thrives on fear and hopelessness. And that is precisely why life tried so hard to break you, not because you were weak, but because you were becoming unstoppable. Tonight is marked. There is a gate opening for you and the timing matters. You are being called to choose. Will you walk into the higher chapter that your soul has been aching for, or will you keep pretending you are ordinary? Do not let self-doubt drown your destiny. The miracle you've been praying for is already written, but it requires your yes. Not a timid yes. Not a fearful yes. A claiming. A stepping into the truth that has been waiting under your skin all this time. You know that things are shifting. You felt the tearing, the rearranging, the inner earthquakes. That wasn't chaos. That was preparation. You cannot carry the old into the new. You cannot climb higher while clinging to what was only meant to teach you. Your intuition has been screaming. Your body has been sending signals, the fatigue, the restlessness, the sudden urges to isolate, the strange dreams, the bursts of emotion that hit without warning. These were messages, something is coming. Get ready. So many nights you stared into the dark wondering if there was any purpose left in you at all. You questioned your value because the world didn't seem to see it. But listen, the world is blind until the light gets bright enough to force recognition. And your light is breaking through now. That's why people who once ignored you suddenly notice. That's why the ones who wronged you feel uneasy when they see you. They know something is different, even if they can't name it. You are shedding the version of yourself that was made from survival, and stepping into the version made for greatness. That process is messy. It feels like losing everything. But really, it is gaining everything that was meant for you from the start. There are blessings rushing toward you that have been delayed only by your fear of receiving them. Opportunities, connections, love, abundance, all of it is aligned, waiting for you to match the frequency. You prayed for clarity and got confusion instead, because clarity is not given, it is earned through confusion that forces growth. You wanted peace, but to receive peace, you had to first meet every part of yourself that was not peaceful. You begged for strength, and life delivered challenges that demanded strength until it became natural. Everything you asked for came disguised as the very situation you wanted to escape. That is how transformation works. But now, finally, the tide is turning. The lesson becomes the reward. The hardship becomes the blessing. The night becomes the dawn. Say, Amen, your word is my lamp, if Scripture lights your path every day. This is why you have been guided to this message, at this moment, in this exact hour, 9:11 p.m. That time is not random. It is a code. A signal of transition, awakening, urgency. The angels have been trying to reach you, but the noise of the world has been loud. Yet tonight, your soul pulled you into alignment. You opened your eyes and the universe opened a door. Step through. Don't hesitate. Don't second guess. If you ignore this call, the regret will follow you. If you answer it, the future you've been dreaming of will unfold faster than you believe possible. Take a breath. Feel the truth behind these words. Feel the electricity in your spine. Feel the presence that surrounds you, unseen but undeniable. You are not reading, you are being addressed. Your destiny is speaking to you and will not be silenced tonight. This is the beginning of the turning point. You are crossing a threshold that fear cannot follow. The shadows that clung to you will lose their grip as you rise. Nothing that tried to break you will survive the elevation of your vibration. You were delayed, but not denied. You were wounded, but not destroyed. You were tested, and you passed. Now is the moment to claim what has always been meant for you. Say yes. Say aloud if you can, I am ready. Not because you feel fully healed, but because you deserve what comes next even while you are still healing. Trust me when I tell you, the angels have waited long enough. Your courage has earned its reward. Your heart is about to witness the very miracle it kept believing in. You are chosen. And this is only the beginning. You are still here, and that alone is proof you are listening with more than your eyes. You can feel this message working its way into the deeper parts of you, the places you rarely allow others to see. The part of you that remembers the ancient agreement you made long before you were born, that you would rise, that you would awaken, that you would not be lost in the forgetfulness that surrounds humanity like fog. Sometimes you feel like you're too old for new beginnings, too late to start over, and yet you feel younger in your spirit than ever before, like something inside you is being reborn. That sensation is the truth. Your old chapter has ended. You are already stepping into the new one, even if your physical world has not caught up yet. This is what divine timing feels like: confusion on the outside, certainty on the inside. You may wonder why this awakening feels so lonely. Why the people around you seem so unaware of what is happening to you. Why you tried to explain but they didn't understand. Let me tell you why. Some journeys must be taken in silence. The most powerful transformations happen away from the spotlight, in the dark, in the quiet, when your spirit is screaming and your voice is broken. The cocoon is not a place for an audience. That isolation you felt, it wasn't abandonment. It was protection. Because if everyone could access you during your growing, they could influence your becoming. The divine needed you hidden so that when you emerged, the transformation would be undeniable. You are not just changing, you are becoming unrecognizable to the version of you that once tolerated far less than you deserved. There are timelines branching in front of you now. Multiple futures breathing, waiting, observing your choice. You can feel the pressure because the choice matters. This is not a small moment. This is not just another turning in the road. This is the intersection between your past identity and your future truth. The universe will not force you forward, free will is the highest law. But the call is loud because your soul already chose the future. Now your mind, your body, your actions must align with that decision. If you do nothing, life will continue as it has, predictable, familiar, safe, but muted. Bland. Hollow. The fire in you will dim until it is only an ember. But if you say yes, if you take the leap, if you dare to believe that everything you feel is real, then the world as you know it will dissolve, and a higher world will reveal itself piece by piece. Listen carefully, you are already being elevated out of rooms you've outgrown. That's why certain people fell away. Why invitations stopped. Why relationships drained you until you had to walk away. Why environments that once felt comfortable now feel tight, suffocating, wrong. Your soul is refusing to shrink anymore. You can no longer pretend to be small. That agitation you feel around the life you used to accept, it is the sign that you are leveling up. Your energy no longer fits in the spaces that once imprisoned you. You think you are losing, but you are being liberated. Do you know why it hurts so much to let go? Because the darkness was disguised as safety. You clung to what was familiar even when it was harmful. You defended the very things that broke you because you feared the unknown more than the suffering you understood. But now, finally, the unknown feels like destiny instead of danger. That shift in your heart is divinely guided. The fear is still there, yes, but the hope is louder. The calling is stronger. Something in you knows, if you turn away now, you will always wonder what could have been. The signs have been multiplying around you. The numbers repeating. The dreams more vivid. The synchronicities impossible to ignore. Random moments suddenly feel like divine messages. You feel watched over, guided, nudged. You may even have felt presence, a warmth on your shoulder when you cried, a tingling down your spine when you asked for help, the sensation of someone in the room when you prayed to no one in particular. That was protection. That was confirmation. You have guardians whose names are older than language, who stand taller than fear. And they do not appear for just anyone. Your breakthroughs will start in small ways, a conversation that opens a door, an idea that clicks into clarity, a chance encounter that feels fated. But those small sparks will ignite something unstoppable. Blessings will not drip into your life, they will pour. The momentum will become so fast you will barely recognize the life you once fought to survive in. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the things you once agonized over no longer hold power over you. That day is coming sooner than you think. The angels are orchestrating a chain reaction that will lead you exactly where you need to be, with exactly who you need to be with. But before that eruption of blessings comes the last test. Can you trust what you cannot yet see? Can you walk like the miracle is already yours? Can you claim your worth even when the world is slow to reflect it? This is the fire gate, the moment the universe asks you to leap without knowing how high you'll fly. Courage rises from the quiet decision that your destiny matters more than your fear. And you have enough courage for an army. Even on your weakest days, you kept moving. Even when your belief was fractured, you kept searching for the light. That persistence is your superpower. There is something unique about your heart, it loves deeper than most. You don't just care, you feel responsible for others' pain. You absorb emotions that aren't yours. You heal people just by listening to them. Your presence calms storms they never admit they're drowning in. But your compassion has cost you. People have used you as their anchor while never offering you a harbor. You were expected to be strong while others collapsed. You were told to forgive while no one apologized. You were expected to understand while others refused to explain. But now, it's your turn to receive. To rest. To be supported. The universe is shifting the balance. Where you once gave endlessly, you will now be given to abundantly. Don't be surprised if the ones who took you for granted try to return. They will feel the change in you before you even speak a word. They will sense the blessing approaching you and want to claim a piece of what they never earned. Be warned, not everyone who wants access to you deserves a ticket into your future. Discernment is your shield. You cannot allow those who wounded your past to contaminate your calling. Fulfillment requires boundaries. Peace has a price. It demands that you choose yourself, unapologetically. Your self-worth is rising like the sun. Your standards are sharpening like a blade. Your soul is speaking, and you are finally listening. The time of shrinking is over. The time of doubting is done. You are awakening into a self that honors its power. And when you rise like this, the fear others have tried to bury in you becomes irrelevant. The chains they placed on you fall off like dust. The voices that once haunted you grow silent. You step out of the prison you didn't even know you were in. You are stepping into a season where your life will no longer be defined by survival. You are transitioning into purpose, into alignment, into overflow, into a destiny that was written for you before heartbreak, before abandonment, before trauma, before doubt. The forces that tried to derail you underestimated the strength of your spirit. They thought a few wounds would break you. They didn't realize those wounds would teach you how to heal, not just yourself, but others. You ask why you suffered, why you endured so much, why life felt so unfair. The answer is here. Your story will be the key that unlocks healing for others. Your journey is not a mistake. It is a blueprint. A map. A torch. You walked through darkness so you could guide others out of theirs. You became the person you once needed, and now someone else needs you. Not to drain you, but to witness you. To walk with you. To love you in the way you always dreamed love would feel. You are not meant to finish this journey alone. Your allies are coming. Your soul family is converging. The ones who recognize your worth instantly, not after you're gone, not after you prove yourself, but now. This is the moment where everything begins to change. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Tonight. The energy around you is shifting with urgency. The blessings that have been waiting are gathering speed. The door that stands before you is opening wider by the second. Take one step, just one, and the future will rush to meet you. Say yes. Whisper it if that's all you can manage. Your soul will hear you. Your angels will hear you. The universe will move the moment you do. You are not here by chance. You are here because destiny demanded it. There is greatness humming in your bones. There is purpose carved into your heartbeat. There is divinity woven into your existence. You are a miracle walking. A survivor chosen to become a leader of light. You passed the tests. You endured the fire. You rose from the ashes. And now you rise into everything you were always meant to be. Right, amen. I walk boldly in my calling, if you are stepping into your purpose. You are still here, reading because some force inside you refuses to let go, because something in these words is awakening a memory older than the life you remember, a truth you buried beneath the pain and disappointments that once made you believe you were unworthy. But I am here to remind you that you were never unworthy, not for a single second. Because the very fact that you survived everything that tried to silence you is the evidence of divine purpose breathing through your veins, and as you continue reading, you may feel a tug inside your heart like something is expanding, stretching, awakening from a deep sleep, because you have finally reached the moment where your past no longer defines your identity and your future begins speaking louder than your fears. And I want you to feel the gravity of this moment, feel how rare and sacred it is, because most people scroll past their blessings and never know what they missed. But you stopped, you listened, you recognized that this message is not just text, it is transformation disguised as ink. It is the language of angels coming through the screen to call your spirit back to the front of your own life. And while you read these sentences, the unseen world draws closer to you, the air shifts around you, the room feels heavier, brighter, or strangely charged because something unseen is standing with you now. Standing like a guardian who has waited a long time to see you cross this threshold, and if your eyes burn, if you feel a chill crawling down your arms, if your heart beats faster, yes, that is exactly what is supposed to happen, because truth doesn't whisper to you politely, it grabs you by the soul and says, "Wake up, it's time." And you are waking up, finally, beautifully, fiercely, into the destiny that has been calling your name since before you even had a voice to answer with. And every moment that once felt like a failure was actually a step upward, every heartbreak was a redirection, every closed door was protection, every lonely night was preparation. Because if you had received the blessings too early, you would have handed them to people who didn't deserve access to you. But now you are wiser, stronger, more aware, and your heart is guarded not by fear but by discernment because you finally understand that your love is a treasure and not everyone should be invited to dine at the table of your soul. And hear me clearly. The ones who doubted you, the ones who used you, the ones who disappeared when you needed them most, will soon witness a version of you that will make them wonder how they ever felt comfortable overlooking someone like you, because the rise that is coming is not small, not subtle, not quiet, no, you are stepping into a transformation that will make people pause when they say your name. You are entering a season where favor becomes your foundation and where people will feel honored just to be in your presence, and this is not arrogance, this is alignment. Because for too long you have dimmed yourself to make others feel comfortable, but not anymore, because the divine has cracked open the sky above your life and poured a new power into your spirit. A power that refuses to shrink, a power that refuses to apologize for existing, and as that power rises in you, you will start to notice the world responding differently, opportunities gravitating toward you, blessings chasing you down, breakthroughs breaking open like doors you barely have to touch. And I know you still carry doubts. I know part of you struggles to believe that this much goodness could ever be meant for you, but that is exactly why you are reading this right now, because you need to understand that you are not being rewarded for being perfect, you are being rewarded for being faithful, and yes, there were nights when you lost faith in the light, but you never let the darkness claim your heart completely. And that is why you are being advanced, elevated, lifted into the phase of your life where your joy will finally outweigh your pain, and listen closely now because this matters. Nothing can stop what is coming for you, not the people who tried to sabotage you, not the thoughts that used to paralyze you, not the fears that once kept you small. Because all of those obstacles are already crumbling behind you, falling like walls no longer needed, because the realm of miracles has already reached into your timeline and rearranged your destiny, and if you could see what has been set aside for you, you would never doubt yourself again, but the divine cannot show you everything yet. Because faith must carry you through the doorway that sight cannot reach, so trust the tug in your chest, trust the fire rising in your belly, trust the whisper that keeps saying, keep going, something big is coming, because that whisper is truth, and the truth is that your life is about to become unrecognizable in the best possible way. You will look back at this version of yourself and feel gratitude for the strength that got you here, but you will also smile knowing that the best chapters hadn't even begun yet, and soon you will notice signs accelerating, songs that answer questions you haven't spoken, dreams that reveal what your intuition already knows, numbers repeating until you cannot pretend you don't see the message. Feathers where there should be none, butterflies in unlikely places, sudden surges of hope for no logical reason, and these signs are not coincidences. They are confirmations, and every confirmation is saying the same thing: prepare yourself, you are rising, and as your rise begins, do not fear the shifts that come with it. Because some connections will be severed, some paths will close, some desires will crumble, not as punishment but as an upgrade, because the new frequency you're entering cannot hold what belonged to your wounded self, only what belongs to your healed self, and I know healing is not clean, healing is not gentle, healing is not easy. Healing feels like breaking before it feels like building, but you are not breaking anymore. Now you are unfolding, unlocking, unleashing the strength that was always there, and as the divine army continues to surround you, the darkness that once stalked you trembles because it knows that your awakening is the end of its power. Because a person who knows their worth cannot be manipulated, and a person who knows their purpose cannot be stopped, and you, chosen one, have begun to know both. And with every word of this message your spirit claims a little more space, a little more courage, a little more certainty, because something inside you already senses the truth. You are meant for far more than survival, you are meant to thrive, to expand, to shine without shame, and the moment you fully accept that is the moment the world will bend to accommodate your brilliance, and that moment is arriving now, in real time, even as your eyes move across these words, because destiny does not wait, destiny demands. So rise. Not later, not someday, but now, because you have already outgrown the version of yourself who suffered just to be seen, and the universe is ready to show you what happens when you finally see yourself the way the divine has always seen you: powerful, worthy, chosen, unstoppable. You are still reading because your soul refuses to walk away from what it knows is meant for you. You may not understand why this message feels like it's speaking directly to your heart, but it is. Destinies are rarely announced quietly, they arrive as thunderstorms disguised as goosebumps. You were guided here because your future demanded you stop surviving and start rising. And this rise is not a slow climb, this is ascension. You have been in a season where everything felt uncertain, like walking barefoot across broken glass hoping the bleeding would eventually stop. You questioned your path so many times that doubt became your unwanted companion. But doubt cannot stay where purpose awakens. The winds are changing direction now, pushing you upward. The breakthrough you thought was late is right on time. There are forces in the unseen that have been rearranging the path before you, removing obstacles you didn't even know existed. You think you're waiting, but the truth is everything has been waiting for you to realize who you are. You are not someone who finds miracles, miracles find you. They are drawn to you because your spirit is a magnet for divine timing. And that timing is now unfolding. You have carried pain like a secret language no one else could interpret. The world saw your smile, not your suffering. You learned to hide your heartbreak behind strength, but the angels saw every tear that fell in silence. They counted them like jewels. Those tears were not wasted. They watered the soil of your transformation. Flowers grow from what once buried you. You were never meant to stay hidden in the dark chapters of your story. Even though the shadows chased you, you kept a small flame alive, the flame of hope. And now that flame has become a fire that darkness can no longer withstand. Others tried to dim you because they feared the brightness you carried. But no one can extinguish what was ignited by the divine. You shine because you must. Your intuition has been tightening its grip on your attention, loud, persistent, unignorable. That sudden urge to walk away from situations that drain you? Guidance. That discomfort around people who pretend to care? Protection. That excitement for things that haven't even happened yet? Prophecy. You are already sensing the shift before it arrives in the physical world. The universe is breaking you out of cycles you should have escaped long ago. You are releasing identities that were built from wounds. You are stepping away from habits that kept you small. You are outgrowing conversations that no longer feed your evolution. If it feels like everything and everyone is changing, it is because you are changing first. Your silence lately has been misunderstood by others, but not by the divine. You have been quieter because you are becoming more powerful. You are listening to instructions meant only for you. Not everyone has the clearance level to understand your transformation. Some will mock, some will question, some will drift away. Let them. Their chapter ended so your next one can begin. Do not worry about the battles you still face. You are no longer fighting with your old strength. You have new weapons now, wisdom sharpened by wounds, discernment born from disappointment, courage built through chaos. You did not gain these tools by accident. Every scar on your spirit is a signature of survival. You are more prepared than you realize. There is a reason you were different from the people around you. There is a reason you felt out of place in your own life at times. You were never designed to blend in, you were created to stand out. It is uncomfortable being a lion raised among sheep. But the moment a lion remembers who it is, everything changes. And that moment is here. Divine justice is unfolding in your favor. Those who betrayed you will face their own reflections. Those who underestimated you will choke on their assumptions. Those who tried to break you will realize they only made you unbreakable. Your comeback will not require revenge. Your success will handle that for you. Light does not fight darkness, it replaces it. Your heart, the very heart that was once shattered, is becoming the compass that will lead you into your blessings. You love differently than others, deeper, wider, braver. That love is your superpower. It is why the right souls will soon arrive, the ones who will treat your heart like the rare treasure it is. You will no longer beg to be chosen, you will be recognized. Everything you have lost created space for what is about to arrive. The empty places in your life are not failures, they are invitations. Invitations for love, abundance, purpose, joy, all the things that were too big to fit into the life you once settled for. Your capacity is expanding. Your destiny is amplifying. You are being prepared for overflow. There will come a morning soon when you wake up and the heaviness that once sat on your chest will be gone. Instead, you will feel excitement, not fear, when you think about your future. The air will taste different. The sky will look brighter. You will recognize that you are no longer the version of yourself who struggled to believe in better days. You will know that better days have begun. Pay attention now, blessings come fast when you finally stop resisting them. The universe is lining up people who will help you rise. Conversations that change everything. Doors that open without you knocking. Gifts labeled with your name. Opportunities that feel like destiny, because they are. You are entering the chapter where everything starts making sense. If your heart is racing while you read this, if your spirit feels like it's leaning forward, that is confirmation. Your soul is already celebrating what your eyes cannot see yet. You are closer than you think. You are ready even if your mind needs time to catch up. The divine is asking only one thing from you now: believe. Believe that you are worthy. Believe that you are guided. Believe that you are chosen. And when the blessing arrives, don't look confused. Don't wonder why. Don't question whether you deserve it. Say thank you. Lift your chin. Walk through the door with confidence. Because you made it here by strength alone. And strength like yours is rare. Strength like yours is divine. Strength like yours is why you passed the test that was designed to elevate you. This is your moment. The shift is already happening. The rise has already begun. And the world will soon witness what the divine has known all along: you were never ordinary. You were always destined. You are still here because the pull is stronger than logic, because the words feel like they're stitching together the broken parts of your story, because something inside you recognizes that this is a moment you will look back on and say that's when everything changed, and I need you to understand just how powerful that realization is, because most people never get this far. Most people turn away from the truth when it begins to demand their transformation, but you are not most people, you are the rare one who continues forward even when fear shakes your bones. You have been walking through life carrying invisible armor, not because you wanted to fight, but because you had to. Life didn't give you gentle lessons, it gave you storms. It gave you heartbreak that nearly turned your heart to stone, it gave you endings that stole your breath, but through all of that you kept a piece of yourself protected, a spark that refused to die, and that spark is now turning into a blaze that cannot be ignored anymore, and that fire inside you will lead you into a future that fear can no longer sabotage. Do you know why your heart still aches sometimes even after healing? Because purpose is pressing through the cracks, expanding where the walls of your old life once stood, stretching you into someone bigger, someone bolder, someone braver than you ever believed you could be, and this pressure is not punishment, it is proof that you are on the edge of your evolution. And evolution always feels like chaos before it feels like rebirth. There have been nights where you laid awake asking the universe why everything had to be so hard, why you had to lose so much, why pain seemed to find you even when you were trying to do everything right, but the answer was always hidden inside the struggle. You were being shaped into someone who could hold greatness without collapsing under the weight of it, because greatness without strength becomes destruction, but greatness with strength becomes legacy. You feel the separation happening, between who you were and who you are becoming, between the life you once accepted and the life that is rising to meet you, between the people who only loved the weaker version of you and the ones who will love the powerful version you are stepping into, and that separation may feel like grief, but it is actually alignment, because nothing that belongs in your future will fight to stay in your past. You are entering the season of divine replacement. Everything that left was clearing space for what is destined to arrive. The love you lost will be replaced with a love that stays. The opportunities that slipped away will be replaced with ones that lift you higher. The chaos that kept you exhausted will be replaced with peace that feels like home. And every unanswered prayer will suddenly make sense when the right blessings arrive without delay. Your energy is becoming expensive. Not everyone can afford access to you anymore. Not everyone can earn their way into your presence. Not everyone deserves the depth of your loyalty and heart, because now you finally see your worth, not as something fragile that needs validation, but as something priceless that demands respect, and you are only going to rise higher from here as you protect that worth like the crown it is. Type Amen. Jesus is my hope forever, if He is your anchor in every storm.